Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. How is everyone doing? I hope life is finding you in a peaceful state of mind. Listen, this is going to be a quick video. Sibling rivalry, family rivalry. Anyone watching this video, have you yourself experienced a situation where someone is upset with you and you have absolutely no idea as to why? It could be your family, and for this video I'm going to just stick with family, because oftentimes people still believe that blood is thicker than water. Family should be the closest, which is true. Family should be very close. Unfortunately, that's just not the way life works right now. In fact, in the Bible it states, in the latter days, the end times, family will be turning against family. Now, this has been going on for a while, but at this point in the world that we're living in right now, the time that we're living in right now, it's becoming more than it ever has been before, where family is at war with each other. Just recently, a young man on my street, without really getting into details because I don't know the details, but I do know the first cousin shot and killed the other cousin right on my street, two sisters cousins. So this cliche that blood is thicker than water, we cannot continue to do that. Say that. You have to be just as conscious with your family, unfortunately, than you are with your friends or stranger. That's the life and that's the reality that we are living in right now. So I'm doing this video because for a very long time, a family member of mine, we were at odds with each other off and on. One minute we're good, the next minute we're not good. And it was going like that for a while. Well, at this point, it got to the point to where I'm like, wait a minute now. Whatever has happened has happened. Have we ever had a conversation about it? No. But I just know that these individuals have a problem with me. And for a while, it bothered me. It truly bothered me because I'm like, well, what did I do? Well, I mean, honestly, what did I do to deserve this? And I'm going to be very honest and transparent. These are my brothers. For whatever reason, I mean, I'm talking about my blood brothers. For whatever reason, just last year, during the Christmas holidays, or I believe it was Thanksgiving, we were taking pictures together. And I thought everything was all good. I thought everything was all good. I thought that everything was cool. But now we're back to square one all over again. So it's like, what did you do? What did I do? So I'm sure there's someone else out here who is in that position where you love your family, because I love my brothers. But what do you do? Well, I'll tell you what I've decided to do. Until they can come to me and express to their sister what I have done wrong, what did I do to offend them, I'm going to move on with my life. Because oftentimes we spend too much time trying to figure out why a person is upset with us. And the truth be told, there are some people in this world that is upset with you because they look at you and look at the lifestyle you live. They look at your happiness. They look at your contentment, and they feel some kind of way. Now, I was just advised that my brother, one of them, is upset with me and is still holding a grudge against me. In his words, is still holding a grudge against me from childhood. I'm not talking about physically abusing him, mentally abusing him, sexually abusing him. Those are things I believe that someone has the right to be upset over. But at some point, even in that case, you got to get yourself some help, therapy, or whatever it is so that you can move on with your life and be happy. Even if you chose not to be around that individual again, at least you're happy. So I'm advised it stems from our childhood. In so many words, I used to dominate him and dominate everything. And he holds a grudge against me for that. And I'm like, surely it has to be more than that. There's no way in this world that this man is holding a grudge against me. I'm talking about a 50-year-old man, actually 53, is still holding a childhood grudge for that. So I'm saying all of this to say, here you are, you could be potentially stressing yourself out over something as minute that you've done as a child that you don't even remember. Y'all, I'm so sorry about the brightness of the sun. Something that you don't even remember, but yet they're holding it against you. Let me tell you something. Once you've already asked, once you've already tried to discover and figure out what's going on with them, move on with your life. Move on with your life in peace. That stress is not good. When a person can't open up their mouths to tell you what is wrong, it leaves too much room for assumption. I was assuming all kinds of things. I thought maybe this particular brother, I thought that maybe he was upset with me because maybe he felt like my mother favored me. I thought maybe he was upset with me because his dad, which was my stepfather, showed me more love in his eyes. So it left too much room for me to assume what I thought was wrong, what I thought I did. So, one word or two, move on. Move on in peace. That is not your situation for you to determine. That's not for you to determine what you've done to someone else. That individual needs to go to you and say, hey, this is what happened to me. Whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I need to know. I need you to know how this has affected me throughout my life. Then maybe you could do something about that. But how can I change what I don't know? How can I change? Y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm going around a curve. How could I change what I don't know? So this is the state of mind that I am in right now. I love them, but Tracy is moving on with her life in peace. And that's just all there is to it. When I see them, I speak. One of the brothers says absolutely nothing to me, even when I say hello. That used to bother me. But I said, Lord, give me your peace to move on with my life as gracefully as I possibly can. They have to deal with those demons that they're struggling in, because it's just a demon from the pits of hell that's still trying to hold them captive. But I refuse to let that hold me captive. I had a cousin that I was at odds with for years. And we finally got it together because we began to talk. And I missed her so much. Of course I miss my brothers. Of course I do. However, I cannot allow what they're dealing with to no longer affect my life. I cannot. I want the best for them. I wish the best for them. But I got to move on, and you should too. Stop trying to figure out what you've done to a person. Move on. Move on. I've heard someone say it before, and it's so true. There are some people, and I'm not just talking about family members now. There are some people in this world that don't like you just because you exist. It's something about you that irritates them. And I'm that person. I don't know if it's my stance. I don't know if it's my demeanor. I don't know what it is. But I can't change who I am, especially if it's not hurting someone else. Intentionally, me being who I am, if I'm not being disrespectful to anyone, I can't change who I am. I just simply can't. I remembered when I started working at this bank years ago, and the young lady and I right now are really, really good friends. We talk practically every day. We do a lot together, and we've been friends for 15 years. But when I walked into the bank for the very first time, my first day on the job, she says to one of the other young ladies that I am currently friends with from the bank 15 years later, well, who in the world is this bitch walking up in here like she owned the place? So again, it was just my demeanor. So the other friend said, she's a really nice lady. Get to know her. Now see, she judged me, and 15 years later, we're really, really good friends. She's like a sister to me. So the point is, there are a lot of people that looks at you and just simply don't like you because of this aura you carry about yourself. This confidence. Confidence, walk into a bank, did not ever do banking before. Well, one time. Did banking one time. I got fired from the bank within my 90-day period because I made a mistake on a transaction. But I didn't let that stop me. I walked into that next bank years later full of confidence, and it was seen. But to another person, they looked at it as if I thought I was all of that. No, that was confidence. That was confidence. So don't let anyone rob you of your confidence. Do what you got to do to stay happy. When they're ready to come around, allow them to come around. But I will say, don't allow folks to be in and out of your life. One minute they're good, the next minute they're not good. Sometimes you got to just do away with family. I love you, but we don't need to do this back and forth. I can't tolerate you. 1 month, we're good. The next month, we're not. One of my brothers, just a few months ago, we were good. And then about 3 weeks ago, I'm calling, and I've noticed he wasn't returning any of my calls. I text him, and I said, well, I guess I'm in the doghouse again with the smiling emoji. No response. Well, 2 weeks later, there was an altercation between him and my son. So then I realized, okay, this is why he wasn't answering my calls, because he knew that this was going to happen the moment they saw each other again. So at this state in my life, I cannot be on the seesaw where you're up, you're down, up and down. Let them deal with their demons, and you move on with your life. You pray once again, you pray and ask that the peace of God rescues your mind, your heart. I was listening to a song earlier this morning that says, Lord, silence the voices in my mind. Silence the voices in my mind is my confession, because I'm no longer trying to figure out why someone else is upset with me. I'm no longer doing that. Now, the Bible does say if you think you've offended someone, go to them. Well, in this case, I know that this has been an up and down situation. So every month I'm supposed to go to them and find out what I've done to offend them? This has been ongoing for a long time. Now, you know deep down in your heart when you've done something to someone, we're not foolish people. We know when we've done something to offend someone. And in a case like that, yes, you do need to apologize. I got upset in my family group chat about a week ago. No, about 2 weeks ago maybe. I got upset. And one of my cousins said something in the group chat that really made me upset while I was already angry. And I said something very hateful to him. Well, the same way I said it hateful to him out of anger, which was wrong, I had to go back in that group chat and apologize. I had to take ownership for what I've done. And I had to go back and apologize. I offended him. Not only did I apologize, but I called him. And I had to hear exactly what it was he had to say to me. Did it feel good? No, it did not feel good. But I had to allow him to express what I did to him and how it made him feel. So if you know you've offended someone, you have to acknowledge that and go back to that individual and apologize for it. Sincerely apologize for it. Something else I realized. When you do that, ask that individual if they would like to know the state of mind that you were in when you offended them. Because you don't want to appear as though you're apologizing and then you're turning around and making an excuse for what you've done. Ask them. If they don't want to hear it, then that's fine. But then there are some people that do want to know, why did you do that to me? Why did you say that to me? So ask them. So I'm out of here. Y'all please like, comment, share this video, thumbs it up. If you've not already subscribed, please do so. You take care of yourselves and walk in peace. Get your peace. Get your peace. I am so serious about that. Get your peace. I'm telling you, when I realized why one of my brothers was upset with me, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. There's just no way possible. No way possible. Y'all, I'm preparing to get in the building for work. There's no way possible that he could be upset over that from children. But that's his reality. And when he gets up enough nerves to come to me and he's really ready to talk about it, Tracy's going to be open to hear. I'm out of here. Take care.